Two big winter storms are coming to the United States over the next few days, and these are going to bring a ton of snowfall across areas like the southern plains, the Gulf Coast, and the southeast, in addition to the threat for ice accumulation. And also, there is another big winter storm that'll be impacting the northeast over the next 48 hours, which will bring a lot more snow than what we've been forecasting over the last 48 hours. So in today's forecast, we're going to break down exactly what you need to know about these two different winter storms and why there have been some big changes to the forecast. We'll begin with what's happening across the country today, and for the time being, there's a lot of moisture that continues to ride across the Gulf of Mexico, and this is moving into areas like the southeast. This will bring some showers and even some thunderstorms, and maybe, just maybe, an isolated tornado tonight or even into tomorrow morning across parts of central and northern Florida, as there will be a few thunderstorms out there, and there will be some wind shear, so we might see an isolated tornado threat kick in. Back over in the northeast, there's been plenty of showers up there and also some snow back over in northern New England. And overall, this is just a quick little moving, winter weather event. Nothing more than just some snow, though. No winter storm characteristics at this point. But as we go into tomorrow, we are expecting the potential for a small nor'easter that'll bring the potential for up to a foot of snow in parts of New England. While the weather may look calm in a lot of areas right now, that is going to change over the next 48 hours as the National Weather Service has issued a slew of different winter weather watches and as well as warnings. We have winter storm warnings now in effect anywhere from eastern Kentucky back into areas like Pennsylvania, New York, and even into parts of northern New Jersey, and much of southern central New England's included in that. Winter storm watches in the blue for both Maine and New Hampshire, and we also now have winter storm watches in effect for southeast Texas, central southern Louisiana, and southern Mississippi. I can't tell you how rare it is to have any sort of winter storm watches in effect anywhere right along the Gulf Coast of the United States. So this will definitely be a rare winter storm early this week. And then also winter weather advisories are in effect in the purple, which includes areas like Tennessee, Kentucky, and also through West Virginia and as well as Virginia. So for the rest of tonight, there will be some light to moderate snow in northern New England and then some passing showers in southern New England. As we go into Sunday, that is when we're expecting a big winter storm to form in the northeast, and this is much larger than what we were even forecasting a couple of days ago. Confidence was very 50-50 on whether we would even see a winter storm in the northeast. Well, it's coming to fruition now, and we are expecting a lot of snowfall in the northeast, and it all begins tomorrow afternoon right around lunchtime, where moderate to heavy snowfall will be falling as a low pressure center will be just offshore of Virginia, and the heaviest of that snow will be located in northern Virginia back into northern New Jersey and Pennsylvania. As we go throughout the late afternoon and into the early evening, this is going to be a very quick moving system, but it is going to be producing wet and heavy snowfall, which means that this will stack up very quickly, and that's why we expect the potential for a widespread 4 to 8 inches of snow, and even some spots near a foot of snow out of this, and I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. By around 6 to 7 o'clock, heavy snowfall is moving into southern and central New England. Even areas like Boston, Massachusetts, and near Cape Cod will see a little bit of snow. There could be some freezing rain as well back over in eastern Rhode Island and also near Cape Cod, so keep an eye out for that. There could be some slick roadways out there, and then eventually, as we go into the overnight hours, the snow is becoming a lot lighter as it moves throughout Maine and New England, and then eventually, as we go into Monday morning, things will be winding down in New England, but lake effect snow will start to ramp up back over near Lake Ontario and as well as Lake Erie, which could easily bring upwards of a foot of snow back over along the lakeside there in both northwestern Pennsylvania and western New York. Now, we are expecting a significant winter storm here. This will be dumping a lot of snowfall, and again, the forecast has been changing a lot. The numbers continue to go up in terms of how much snowfall we can expect, and we are expecting a very large area between 4 to 8 inches of snowfall. Basically, anywhere that I just outlined is forecasted to see in the ballpark of 4 to 8 inches of snowfall. There will be some locations, especially I think in southeast New York, as well as northeastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, and even back into western Massachusetts and southern Vermont, that get as much as 8 to 12 inches of snowfall out of this particular winter storm. I think overall Maine is going to be a bit more on the low side of things. I still think many areas will see between 4 to 8 inches of snow, but I don't really see many areas there seeing much more than 8 inches of snow. I think it's going to be a little bit lighter of precipitation, and I also think the system will start to move a bit faster as it continues to go to the northeast and as it eventually moves out of New England. And as a reminder, if you are new to the channel, make sure to hit the red button down below and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the latest updates on these winter storms over the next few days. We are going to continue to have daily updates, so make sure to subscribe to the channel. All right, after this winter storm is done tomorrow, we are eventually going to have another winter storm developing late Monday night into early Tuesday morning back along the Gulf Coast, and this is going to be from two different areas of energy essentially that we're going to be seeing. We're going to see moisture coming out of the Gulf of Mexico and some snow as well moving across the Rockies, eventually moving into the southern plains. And once these two areas of moisture collide, we are expecting a big winter storm to form. And so as we go into Tuesday morning, that will be the beginning of some light to moderate snowfall, and as well as even some sleet and freezing rain across Texas and Oklahoma. Overall, I'm not expecting a whole lot of accumulation here in Oklahoma, Texas, or Arkansas, but there should be at least some isolated to scattered snow flurries out there, maybe a bit of light snow that accumulates to a dusting. But the more significant event will be located across parts of central and southern Texas, and then eventually moving along the Gulf Coast as we go throughout the day Tuesday. This is around lunchtime on Tuesday. Notice some of these darker blues are starting to show up. That is going to indicate some heavier snowfall falling in both Louisiana, Mississippi, and East Texas, with even some sleet and freezing rain falling along the Gulf Coast, which is going to make traveling treacherous out there. And we are expecting some major travel impacts that will likely prevent travel for at least Tuesday. It will likely last all the way through Thursday. And in addition to that, schools will likely be closed, and also workplaces may also end up closing for this event. As we go into late Tuesday and into early Wednesday, this continues to move along the Gulf Coast, where rare snowfall will be falling in areas like New Orleans. New Orleans could see upwards of 3 to 5 inches of snow out of this winter storm, which is just crazy. Southern central Alabama, southern Mississippi, Georgia, and the Carolinas will start to see snow late Tuesday night. And by Wednesday morning, the snow will continue to move into areas like North Carolina, Virginia, and Maryland. There will also be some sleet and freezing rain, even into parts of northern Florida. Areas like Tallahassee and as well as Jacksonville have the potential for not just freezing rain, but perhaps even some snowfall, which means that, there's a chance that even Jacksonville, Florida, those areas that have schools may also be closing on Wednesday if the ice actually does transpire here. Again, there could be some changes to the forecast as we still are a few days out from this, but it definitely looks like we are talking about a major winter storm even impacting Florida, and all of this snow will move out as we go into early Thursday morning. Now, in terms of how much snowfall we can expect, I'm going to first show you the probabilities, and then I'm going to show you how much snow we can actually expect in terms of an actual number. This is the probability of seeing greater than 1 inch of snowfall, and notice we have basically a 100% chance right now in and around the Houston, Texas area, back through central and southern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, even parts of the Florida Panhandle near Mobile, Alabama, for example, and back into Georgia. We currently have a very high chance of seeing at least 1 inch of snowfall. Probabilities are a little bit lower the further east you go, and that mostly has to do with the track confidence. We don't exactly know where it'll track beyond it going along the Gulf Coast, but it will more than likely travel up the East Coast, and I think we could see some significant snow back over in South and North Carolina. The probability of seeing greater than 3 inches of snowfall, which would definitely be winter storm criteria along the Gulf Coast. Areas like southern Louisiana are nearing a 100% chance of that happening, and even back into southern Alabama, the chances are relatively high. Don't leave out areas like Florida. Again, we are going to have the potential for some snow even in Florida, including Panama City, for example. There is a chance that we could see an inch or two of snow in those areas. If we don't see snow, there is at least going to be a pretty high chance of seeing freezing rain, which would lead to ice accumulation. And then if you're wondering if we could see over a half a foot of snow, there's a chance. I mean, it's not out of the question, especially back over in the Carolinas. The chances are a bit higher here, but there's also a chance back over in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Southeast Texas. Most areas are around a 20 to 30% chance at this time, but only expect these numbers to go up as we get closer. Now, in terms of how much snow we can expect, this is a blend of a bunch of different models all into one graphic. It's going to give us our best indication of a reasonable amount of snow that we can expect. And keep in mind, there will be locations that are higher and lower than the numbers that you see here. But overall, the Houston area, I would currently expect about 1 to 3 inches of snow. Again, there could be some changes to the forecast over the next couple of days as we start to get some more short-term computer model data. Back over into central and southern Louisiana, this is where I think our jackpot of snow will be. I think there will be several spots that get around 4 to 6 inches of snow. I wouldn't rule out a couple spots, though, closer to 8 to maybe even 9 inches of snow, as I do foresee there being some heavier snowfall over a longer period of time. And then back into southern Mississippi, you can also expect 2 to 4 inches. Many areas could be higher than that. And then areas like Dallas, Fort Worth, I know there are numbers all across the board around a tenth of an inch up to a half an inch of snow. Again, it's an estimate. It's really, again, a blend of a bunch of different models. So these numbers are probably not going to even be as high as they are, but there could be a few locations near Dallas, Fort Worth that are around a coating of snow as we go into late Monday night and into early Tuesday morning, but it's a very, very low chance in my opinion. And then back over into the southeast and along the East Coast, notice how there is a pretty high chance that we're going to be talking about a lot more snowfall, especially over along the East Coast near North and South Carolina. The exact amount of snowfall that falls here is a bit more uncertain than what we're going to be talking about here since it's a little further out, but I do think many areas along the East Coast coast, we'll see 3 to 6 inches of snow. And then back into southern Georgia and southern Alabama, a very solid chance that at least 2 to 4 inches of snow will fall there. And then northern Florida, it's going to be a very sharp dividing line between seeing no snow and just seeing ice, and then also seeing maybe a couple inches of snow. And I think the main area of snowfall will be back over near Tallahassee, where we could see a coating to even 2 inches of snow. Now, there's a large area that we'll be watching for the potential for ice accumulation, including areas like Florida. If you're over near Jacksonville or Tallahassee, there's a pretty good chance that many of those towns will be closed down on Wednesday because people are going to be wearing flip-flops and the roads are going to be untreated, even when there's snow on the ground. So it's going to be pretty much messy out there in northern Florida, it looks like, on Wednesday. There could, again, still be some changes to the forecast, so make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll have a more detailed video tomorrow morning talking all about exactly how much ice and snow we can see. I think overall, though, the ice accumulation will be anywhere from a tracing up to a 1/10 of an inch of ice. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe if you've not already.